Have you ever had that feeling? You have a big, important goal, a project, a new habit, maybe even a lifelong dream. You know what you need to do. You might even be excited about it. But when it comes time to actually start, you just don't. Instead, you find yourself scrolling through your phone, tidying a room that's already clean, or suddenly deciding it's the perfect time to research the history of the paperclip. Hours, and sometimes days, can vanish this way. And all the while, that important task just sits there, growing larger and more intimidating in the back of your mind. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. In fact, this experience is incredibly common. It's not a sign of laziness or a character flaw. It's a sign of a brain doing what it's wired to do. Seek comfort and avoid discomfort. Welcome to Wellbeing Balance Unleashed. Today, we're not going to fight our brains. We're going to understand them. We'll gently pull back the curtain on the neuroscience of procrastination, exploring why our minds so often choose the path of least resistance, even when we know it's not what's best for us in the long run. By the end of this video, my promise to you is that you will have a clear, science-backed framework and a toolkit of practical strategies to work your brain, not against it. We're going to move beyond the cycle of guilt and last-minute panic and build a more sustainable and frankly more peaceful relationship with your own productivity. To start, let's look at a very common pattern. Imagine a typical project timeline. In an ideal world, progress would look like a steady, gentle climb. You'd do a little bit each day, chipping away at the work, and finish with time to spare, feeling calm and in control. It's a nice thought, isn't it? But for many of us, the reality looks quite different. For weeks or even months, the progress line stays completely flat. Nothing happens. The deadline, which once seemed so far away, is suddenly looming. The quiet anxiety turns into a full-blown panic, and that's when the magic happens. Fueled by adrenaline and the very real fear of failure, you enter a state of hyper-focus. You pull 2 all-nighters, write 90 pages in 3 days, and somehow, against all odds, you get it done. You hit submit with seconds to spare. There's a huge wave of relief. You survived. You might even feel like a hero. But is this frantic, last-minute sprint really a victory? Or is it a symptom of a stressful, exhausting cycle that's holding you back from your true potential? Let's find out. You've been there. The deadline is looming, the pressure is immense, and somehow you pull it off at the last possible second. You hit send on that email, you turn in that project, and a wave of relief washes over you. You survived. It might feel like some strange form of magic, but it leaves you wondering, why does it always have to be this way? Why do we put ourselves through that cycle of stress and last-minute panic, even when we know there's a better way? To understand this, we don't need magic. We need to look inside our own minds. Neuroscientists have found that procrastination isn't just a character flaw. It's a battle being waged between 2 key parts of your brain. Think of it like having 2 competing forces at the controls. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex. This is the more evolved part of your brain, and we can think of it as your rational decision maker. This is the CEO of you Inc. It's the part that understands the concept of time, sees the big picture, and makes logical long-term plans. It's the voice that says, we should probably start that presentation now so we have time to revise it later. It wants what's best for your future self. But in the procrastinator's brain, the rational decision maker isn't alone at the helm. There's another passenger, a much more primitive force that represents parts of our limbic system. For our purposes, let's call it the instant gratification monkey. This monkey operates on a very simple, very powerful principle. Do whatever is easy and fun right now. It has no memory of the past and no concept of the future. The only thing that exists for the monkey is the present moment. It's the part of our brain that evolved to help us survive in a much simpler time, focusing on immediate needs and avoiding immediate discomfort.
So, your rational decision maker says, it's time to focus and get this important work done. But the monkey, who is terrified of difficult or boring tasks, shrieks, "No way, that looks hard. Let's check our email first, then maybe watch a few videos on how to organize a desk instead of actually organizing it. Ooh, I wonder what's new on Instagram." The monkey's arguments are persuasive because they promise immediate relief and pleasure. It steers you away from the important task and towards a rabbit hole of distractions. Before you know it, hours have passed.
This zone of easy, fun distractions is what author Tim Urban calls the dark playground. It sounds like a good time, but it's a trap. The monkey thinks it's taking you to a place of leisure and enjoyment. In a world without deadlines and responsibilities, this would be paradise. But in our modern lives, it's a disaster. Whether it's starting a new workout routine, preparing for a meeting, or finally tackling that passion project, the monkey's logic is always the same. Why do the hard thing now when we can do the easy thing instead? And here's the crucial part. The fun you have in the dark playground isn't actually fun. It's not the genuine, restorative leisure you feel after a hard day's work. This is unearned leisure. While you're scrolling, binge-watching, or tidying up your sock drawer for the 5th time, a part of you knows you should be doing something else. So, the experience is tainted with feelings of guilt, anxiety, and self-loathing. You're supposed to be relaxing, but you feel terrible because you know this time is stolen from the things that truly matter. This is the core of the procrastination paradox. You avoid work to feel better, but end up feeling much, much worse. To truly understand why we procrastinate, we need to look at the cast of characters inside our minds. First, there's the rational decision maker. This is the part of you that makes sensible plans, thinks about the future, and wants what's best for you in the long run. It's the voice that says, "I should probably start that big project for work," or "I need to file my taxes soon." It understands the importance of long-term goals and responsibilities. But there's another character who often hijacks the controls, the instant gratification monkey. The monkey lives entirely in the present moment. It has no memory of the past, no concept of the future, and operates on a single simple principle. Do whatever is easy and fun right now. The monkey's only goal is to avoid discomfort and maximize immediate pleasure. So when the rational decision maker tries to work on something difficult or boring, the monkey throws a tantrum and steers you towards the dark playground, a place filled with YouTube binges, social media scrolling, and any other easy distraction. For a while, this feels great. The problem is, you're enjoying activities you haven't earned the time for, and a quiet dread begins to build in the background. The rational decision maker is mostly powerless against the monkey. It can try to reason and plead, but it doesn't know how to fight for control. So, who is in charge? For a long time, it's the monkey. This system works in a dysfunctional way. because of the one thing the monkey is terrified of: the panic monster. The panic monster is dormant most of the time. It only wakes up when a deadline is terrifyingly close, or when the threat of public embarrassment or a major career disaster becomes imminent. When it finally awakens, it sends the monkey scrambling for safety, instantly clearing the path for the rational decision maker to regain control of the ship. This is when you suddenly feel a surge of focus and motivation, pulling an all-nighter to finish a report or cramming for an exam just hours before it begins. The system, in a stressful, chaotic way, gets the job done, but only when there's a deadline, and this reveals the two major types of procrastination. The first is deadline-driven. It's stressful and inefficient, but the panic monster eventually shows up to save the day. The consequences are immediate and clear, so action is eventually taken. But the second type is far more dangerous: procrastination on tasks that have no deadlines. Think about the big, important things in life: starting a business, getting in shape, learning a new skill, or spending quality time with your family. For these goals, there is no specific date on the calendar to trigger the panic monster. Without that external pressure, the monkey can run wild indefinitely. The rational decision maker knows you should be working on these things, but with no panic to scare the monkey away, the days, weeks, and years can slip by with no progress. This is where procrastination can become a source of deep, long-term unhappiness and regret, as you become a spectator in your own life, watching your biggest dreams go unfulfilled. But today, we unleash the fix. Hack number 1, fake deadlines, set panic alarms. Number 2, monkey-proof your phone. Apps block TikTok till tasks done. Number 3, 5-second rule, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. I challenge you. Right now, pause this. Do one task you've dodged. Comment, "I beat the monkey." If this blew your mind, drop a like. Subscribe a Well-Being Balance Unleashed for daily hacks to balance your life like a beast. Share with a procrastinator buddy. Save their life. We out.